You ever notice how like a black light makes certain things glow?
Yeah.
Posters, maybe lint on your clothes?
Yeah, totally. It's kind of cool.
Well, it turns out that same idea can actually show hidden things on your skin, even like bacteria having a tiny light show.
Exactly. And it makes you think, what else is going on there that we just don't see?
Right. Which is perfect for our deep dive for you today. We're going to explore this really fascinating crossroads between, real skin science and the very imaginative world of the Cütie Catcherz AR comic series.
Yeah, it's a cool connection. We're looking at the science behind Cutibacterium acnes, the bacteria.
Which the comic calls cooties, right? We should probably stick with cooties like they do.
Good call. Yeah, the cooties. And how the comic sort of translates the science behind them into these metaphors and stories.
So to help us unpack this, we've got a couple of key sources. There's a translated article, Wood's Light in Inflammatory and Autoimmune Dermatoses, Infections, and Skin Cancer. It's from Actus Dermosophiliographicus.
And the lead investigators listed are S. Gomez Martinez, J. Abeceda Ayala, and D. Morgado Carrasco.
And we also looked at another piece called Wood's Light and Skin's Hidden Secrets.
Both really useful, and they focus on this thing called Wood's Light.
Okay, so what is Wood's Light? Is it just like a fancy black light?
Basically, yeah. It's a special lamp that shines ultraviolet light, UV light, but at a specific wavelength.
And this light makes things on your skin glow. Different colors, maybe.
Exactly. It reveals those hidden secrets, as one article put it, things you wouldn't normally see.
Okay, so what's our mission today for you listening?
Well, two things, really. First, dig into the science behind some of those cool metaphors in Cütie Catcherz, especially the ones linked to Cutibacterium acnes, the cooties.
And second?
And second, maybe even more importantly, we want to help empower you with a clear understanding of your own skin health. This stuff is relevant for everyone.
All right, let's start with the Wood's Light itself. How does it actually make things glow? What's the science there?
Okay, so the lamp shoots out UV light around 365 nanometers. That specific wavelength hits certain molecules. They're called fluorophores.
Fluorophores.
Yeah.
Like tiny light receivers.
Sort of. The UV light excites them, gives them energy. Then they release that energy back as visible light. That's the glow we see.
Okay. And does our skin naturally have these fluorophores? Does it glow on its own?
It does, actually. That's called endogenous fluorescence. It mostly comes from the deeper layer, the dermis. Things like collagen and elastin.
Huh. What color is that?
Usually kind of a faint bluish color.
So if the skin already glows a bit, how does the Wood's Light help spot problems?
Well, that's where melanin comes in. Melanin, our skin pigment, it's really good at absorbing UV light.
Like a built-in sunscreen.
Exactly. So areas with less melanin, hypopigmented spots, let more UV light pass through. Those areas might look brighter because you see more of that underlying dermal glow.
And areas with more melanin, darker spots.
They absorb more UV, so they look darker under the Wood's Light. It creates contrast, helps dermatologists see those pigment differences clearly.
Okay, that makes sense. It highlights the variations. But what about bacteria? You mentioned bacteria glowing.
Right. So fluorescence doesn't just come from within the skin, the endogenous stuff. It can also come from exogenous sources.
Exogenous, meaning from outside.
Yeah, things living on the skin, like bacteria and fungi, or rather the byproducts they create.
Which brings us straight back to Cütie Catcherz and the cooties. How does Wood's Light link up with the comics metaphors?
Okay, here's a really direct one. Progressive macular hypomelanosis, PMH. It's a condition causing lighter patches on the skin.
And that's linked to bacteria.
Yes, the Actus article specifically connects PMH to Cutibacterium acnes. And under Wood's Light, not only are the light patches clearer, but you often see this reddish fluorescence inside the hair follicles in those areas.
Red fluorescence from the C. acnes.
Precisely. The article explains it's because C. acnes produces something called protoporphyrin III. This molecule glows red under UV light.
Wow. So in Cütie Catcherz, when they talk about the cooties maybe having a glow or a signature scene with a Wood's lantern?
It could absolutely be a nod to this real science. That red glow is literally a signature of C. acnes activity. Maybe the artists even use reddish hints for certain cooties. It shows how science can subtly inform the fantasy.
That's brilliant. It adds another layer to the comic. What about other concepts like the cutie clouds or biofilm fortresses?
Yeah, so our other source mentions biofilms. Bacteria like C. acnes can create these protective communities like a shield matrix. They're harder to treat when they're in a biofilm.
Right, and in the comic, they have cutie clouds representing microbial imbalance and these hidden biofilm fortresses or cutie hives.
Exactly, these hidden strongholds.
So how does Wood's Light tie in there? Can it see biofilms?
Well, maybe not the biofilm structure directly in all cases, but its ability to reveal hidden bacterial activity or related skin changes is key. The Woods lantern, or UV scouter in the comic, becomes a perfect metaphor for that diagnostic power.
Ah, so the lantern helps Nimbus and the Pore Patrol find those hidden cutie hives.
Pretty much. It symbolizes the tool that lets them see beyond the surface, revealing these hidden bacterial communities or their effects, just like Wood's light helps dermatologists see things they couldn't otherwise.
Okay, that fits really well. The comic also talks about different kinds of cooties. Does Wood's light show different glows for different skin microbes?
It absolutely does. The Actus article lists several. We mentioned the red from C. acnes and follicles, but erythrasma, caused by Cutibacterium minutissimum, glows coral red.
Coral red, okay.
Tinea versicolor, which is fungal, often shows a yellow-green fluorescence. And infections with Pseudomonas aeruginosa can look green.
Wow, so it's like a whole light spectrum of infections.
Kinda, yeah.
So just like CütieCatcherz has different cootie characters, maybe implying different problems, this range of colors under Wood's light reinforces that idea, that different issues need different solutions.
That's a great connection. It really drives home that you need to identify the specific problem. The visual cue, the color, helps differentiate. It mirrors the comic saying, not all cooties are the same.
And what about the Paw Patrol mentors in the comic? Dr. Hoot, Nurse Hop, Lab Rat, Miss Glam. They each have their own expertise, right?
Right. They represent different skincare strategies or approaches.
So how does Wood's light fit with them?
Think of Wood's light or the Wood's lantern as the tool that helps them figure out which expert is needed. It's diagnostic.
Okay.
It helps identify the specific cootie problem so Nimbus knows whether they need, say, Dr. Hoot's analytical approach or Ms. Glam's barrier repair focus.
So it guides the strategy. It's not just about blasting everything, but about choosing the right tool, the right approach, based on what the light reveals.
Exactly. It emphasizes targeted intervention over just, a general attack. That reflects a big shift in modern dermatology, really understanding the specific microbes or issues involved.
Got it. So Nimbus learns to use the lantern to call the right help. Know your enemy or your skin issue first.
Precisely. Now, thinking about you listening, especially if you have darker skin, how does this all apply? We talked about melanin-absorbing UV.
Right. Does that change how Wood's light works?
Well, the underlying science, the bacteria producing porphyrins, the skin reacting, that's universal. But the visual appearance under the light can be different.
How so?
Because melanin absorbs the UV, the background contrast might change. Subtle pigment changes, or even the brightness of that bacterial fluorescence might look a bit different depending on your natural skin tone.
So the science might present slightly differently, visually.
They might, yeah. But the key takeaway here isn't about the difference being a barrier. It's that understanding the science behind C. acnes, behind fluorescence, empowers everyone regardless of skin tone. Knowing this helps you understand what might be happening and why a dermatologist might use a tool like Wood's light. It helps them see past the surface for all patients.
That's really important. Knowledge empowers everyone to take charge of their skin health.
Okay. But is Wood's light perfect? You called it a tool. Tools have limits, right?
They do, and Wood's light isn't an exception. The sources point out it can be tricky for some things, like getting the exact borders of certain skin cancers. Results can vary.
But is it used often?
Interestingly, the Actus article suggests it might be underutilized, despite being pretty useful and low cost.
Huh. Why might that be?
Hard to say for sure. Maybe training, maybe just preference for other tools. But technique is also really key.
Technique, like how you use the light.
Yeah. You need a really dark room. You have to hold the lamp at the right distance, usually about 10, 15 centimeters. And you need to know if the skin should be cleaned first.
Wait, cleaning matters. It can. If you're looking for fluorescence from, say, cosmetics or soap residue, you'd want to clean the skin. But if you're looking for bacterial or fungal fluorescence, cleaning might wash it away, so you need to know what you're looking for.
Ah, okay. So it's a valuable tool, but needs to be used correctly and isn't the magic bullet.
Exactly. So pulling this all together, we've seen some really cool links between the science, like Wood's light revealing C. acnes, and the storytelling in CütieCatcherz.
Yeah, this whole idea of seeing the unseen on our skin and how knowledge gives us power.
And how different issues, different cooties need different targeted solutions, just like the Wood's light can show different fluorescence colors pointing to different microbes.
It really moves away from a one-size-fits-all idea for skin health.
Definitely. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you to consider. How often do we only look at the surface of things? Our health, maybe situations in the world.
Hmm,
What hidden details, what deeper understanding might we find if we could look closer, maybe with a different kind of light or a new perspective?
that's a great question to ponder. It applies way beyond just skin, doesn't it?
It really does.
Well, this has been fascinating. If you're interested in exploring more about skin science or checking out the world of cutie catchers, there's plenty out there.
And remember, understanding what's going on with your skin is always a powerful first step.
You got the cooties, we got the cure, fighting breakouts with facts and a whole lot of lore. It's Cütie Catcherz, beneath the skin, where science and story are about to begin. Let's go! You got the cooties, we got the cure, fighting breakouts with facts and a whole lot of lore. It's Cütie Catcherz, beneath the skin, where science and story are about to begin. You got the cooties, we got the cure, fighting breakouts with facts and a whole lot of lore. It's Cütie Catcherz, beneath the skin, where science and story are about to begin. Let's go!
That's a wrap on this episode of Cootie Catchers Beneath the Surface, where science meets art and technology, and skincare gets a superpower treatment. If you learned something, laughed a little bit, or just loved the blend of art, culture, and biology, make sure to follow the journey at CutieCatcherz.com and stay up to date on Instagram at CutieCatcherz. Catch every new episode on Spotify and YouTube. Just search Cootie Catchers Beneath the Surface. And remember, the cooties are real, but so is your power to fight back with knowledge. This is produced by me, Stephen Christian, of Stuck on an Island, in collaboration with Iltopia.